Hello everyone, I'm Brior and welcome back to Goodgame Empire. It's been a while, but we are in fact back. As many of you guys know, I've been missing for a little under 2 months because I've been very busy during my fall semester at college. Anyways, I have some time now and will have some time over winter break to make some videos covering all of the recent features that have been added to the game. There are so many that I thought I would break the regular updates video down into multiple parts. Therefore, today's video will cover what I believe to be the most important new feature, that would be private resource villages. A video to be published a few days from now will cover another important update, that would be the introduction of HTML5. And finally, a video to be published at the end of December will cover everything else, and it will cover any new updates should they come out between now and the end of the year. Does it make sense? Fantastic, let's begin. As you guys know, resource villages have been a thing in the game for a very long time. You can capture them in the Outer Kingdoms, that would be the Everwinter Glacier, the Burning Sands, and the Fire Peaks, and they will increase the production of resources in your castle. Resource villages come in 3 types, wood, stone, and food, but for most players the only important ones are the food resource villages, because at level 70 you should demolish your stone and wood production buildings in all of your castles. Anyways, in the Burning Sands and the Fire Peaks, these food resource villages can increase your food production by 30% apiece, so they are very important and all players want to have them. In the Everwinter Glacier, each food resource village you own will increase your food production by 50%, so they're even more important, but you can only hold 5 of them. However, this is the source of one of the biggest problems with resource villages, and that would be that new players who enter the world map nowadays won't find any open resource villages to capture. If they try to capture resource villages from existing players, that could start a war, and they could be stripped of all of their property, so that's not really a viable means of acquiring these RVs. It's not fair, because back in the days when Goodgame Empire was very popular and the map was still growing, players would be placed along the map's edge, and as the map expanded, new resource villages were added. This still happens occasionally, but it's much more likely for new players to be placed in the center of the world map when they enter the Burning Sands or Fire Peaks, for example, and when that happens, there won't be any available resource villages nearby. And that's just one reason why many players have been asking Goodgame Studios to add private resource villages for years, and it looks like Goodgame Studios has finally conceded. You can now access private resource villages first by going to your castles in the Outer Kingdoms, then clicking on your loot warehouse, then clicking on the resource village icon, and then clicking on the shop icon. You can access this very same screen by going down to the governance icon, which looks like a box, and then clicking resource villages, and then once again clicking the shop button. This will take you to a page where you can buy private resource villages of the food, wood, and stone variety, and you will very quickly see that you need a special currency to do so. You will be able to obtain this currency via Ruby offers, but here's some good news for players who don't necessarily want to break out the credit card. You can also obtain these resource village tokens from the event traders. So that would be the Nomad Trader, the Samurai Trader, and they should also be available at the Armorer in case you would like to exchange rubies for them. So private RVs, as you can see, come at different levels and strengths. A level 10 private food RV will provide an equal bonus when compared to a public RV. So as I said earlier, in the Fire Peaks and Burning Sands, that bonus is a 30% food production bonus, and a level 10 private food RV will provide that same bonus. Here's where things start to get very interesting for high-level players, however. Private food RVs above level 10 will provide a bonus greater than public RVs, which means high-level players will prefer private RVs to public RVs. Unfortunately, private and public RVs are both counted under the same cap. In the Everwinter Glacier, for example, you can only have 5 food RVs. That means that if you want to buy some private food RVs, you will have to drop your existing public food RVs. High-level players will want to do this because, once again, private RVs can provide a greater bonus. That means that RVs that are public will be freed up for low-level players to claim. Low-level players likewise will also be interested in private RVs, but here's the thing. Private RVs are quite expensive, even if you don't spend any real money to get them. You can, of course, collect the currency from the event shops, but you will need those shops to appear 3 times before you can buy enough tokens to get 1 maximum level private resource village. That means that it will take most players the better part of a month, unless of course they are spending money or rubies to get these tokens even faster. Right now, the Nomad Invasion is running, so I can show you how to purchase these tokens, and of course it just requires a few clicks and is fairly straightforward. However, you can see here in the Nomad shop that these tokens are being offered on 2 separate tiles, so what's up with that? Why would you want to spend 3 times the amount of Nomad tablets to get the same amount of tokens? Well, I'll tell you. As a player, you are only able to buy 15 Resource Village tokens at the rate of 100 tablets apiece. After that, you won't be able to buy any more at this price, and if you want to continue collecting tokens to upgrade your private resource villages faster, you will need to buy them at the more expensive price. There is also a limit to the number of tokens you can buy at this rate as well, which means that the currency is being very controlled by Goodgame Studios, and the process of upgrading your public resource villages to high-level private resource villages will be slow. Now, one thing to pay attention to is that ever since the Khan Invasion was added to the game, the Nomad shop resets before the event concludes. In other words, just a few hours before the Nomad Invasion is supposed to end, normally the shop disappears for a few seconds and then comes back, and then it lasts for about 2 days. This gives players an opportunity to make purchases with all of the Khan medals that they get when the Khan camp itself leaves. Anyways, the reason that this is important for today's video is because you can then buy 45 more resource village tokens and take advantage of that exploit. The limit itself gets reset. However, Goodgame Studios may introduce additional opportunities to collect private resource village tokens with new offers or new events, and so you should keep your eye out for stuff like that. Also, it may not be a very bad thing if this is a slow process, because the private resource village system, will be a rebalancing of the game, in my personal opinion. Once again, high-level players will be interested in using this feature because it will enable them to increase their food production in the Outer Kingdoms even more. That will open up public resource villages for low-level players to capture. Low-level players and high-level players alike can buy low-level private resource villages and upgrade them over time. However, if you already have public resource villages, you should just start by buying a level 11 private resource village and not waste your time with any of the lower level ones, because they provide less or an equal food production bonus to your public RVs. A while back, Goodgame Studios removed the ability to launch attacks from your RVs, so as far as I can tell, there should be no strategic reason for high-level players to hold on to their public RVs. I'm quite certain that this update will change the face of the Everwinter Glacier, the Burning Sands, and the Fire Peaks in the months to come, and I look forward to it. This update promises to fix a long-standing imbalance in the game that made it difficult for new players to succeed, and I support that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that will be all for today's video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Keep your eye on the channel for future videos about the other new features that have been added to the game in these past few weeks. As always, I've been Brior, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.